Welcome to TLab Tutors. My name is Drotway. In today's video, I want to quickly share how to mock up Binance login and sign up interface. And let me make a quick disclaimer that this tutorial is just for educational purpose. It is not meant to engage in any fraudulent activities. With that said, let's get rolling.
This is what the registration page of Binance looks like. And when we go to login, this is what the login interface looks like. Today, I want to mock up this registration and login interface of Binance using Next.js and TailwindCSS. Before we begin, let's go to our Next.js official website and spin up a new Next.js application. Okay, and the system requirements, you have to read through and see that your system is able to utilize this new Next.js version, which is version 14. According to the official documentation, you need nothing less than Node.js of 18.18, okay, to install it. Okay, I want to spin up a new project by simply copying this and npx create next app. Okay, so I want to go to my VS Code. Okay, so by here I'm going to paste this create next app at latest and give the name a name for our project. Let's call it Binance Mockup. Okay, let's hit enter. Okay, so would you like to use TypeScript? No. For this project, no. Would you like to use ESLint? Yes. Would you like to use TailwindCSS? Yes. Would you like to use source directory? Personally, it's not I don't like it. So I'm saying no. Would you like to use app router? Recommended? Yes. Would you like to customize the default import alias? To customize it, there is no need for any customization. So basically, according to my personal preference, all I did in installing this was to go for default suggestion. Everything was just default. Yeah, maybe I'll pause this video and we'll come back when our installation is done. The project is done installing. Okay. So what I would do is to first close my VS Code because I want everything to stay organized, because I need to go into this new project folder, okay, to run it, and it's the only one that we open on that is open on the VS Code. Okay, then we have to run npm run dev to spin up our project. It's starting our Next.js application. Sorry guys, I'm too used to React. Most of the time I say React. And on this channel, we deal with React as well. Okay, so in the upcoming videos, I'll be engaging on some pure React applications, but today it's Next.js. I just want us to use Next. Okay, it seems to be ready. Our project is ready. So let's go to localhost 3000. Usually the application will take a few moments to run because it's compiling. Okay, so this is our fresh installation of Next.js 14 application. This is what it looks like. So we are now going to explore the file structure and we remove everything. Actually, basically we need to take out everything as we continue with our tutorials. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is to go into the project folder structure of the project and delete what is not needed. Okay, so let's go into this. What we need to do is to start with is to check the layout page. This is what the layout page looks like. This is what is showing. This is the default page that loads your Next.js application. This is where it is found, and the page that we are seeing here is where the code for the page. Let me reduce. Sorry. Let me actually close this to give us more room. Perhaps I can close this as well. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to just simply remove everything within this main tag, within this div tag rather, everything. So including the footer and all that. And so I've just removed it. For us to see what our interface will look like now, let me just throw in, let's say, h1 tag. And I write Binance Mockup. Okay, now that we have I've saved it, let's go back to our project and see. Can we see? This is what we are having. So we are good to go. Okay. The next step would be, let's go to okay, so what I'm going to do is to go back to the application and go to the global CSS file where that color was defined. So I'm going to copy and paste that code in here. Okay, so that is the color. Then the 4, where it is simply okay, and we'll do similar thing on the media, which we may not actually use, but let's put it for now. Let's put it there. Okay, let's go to our app. We can see what we already have. We have that nice, cool looking grape like blackish Binance color. So that's fine. So now that the installation part of our new Next.js app is out of the way, let's quickly see what the default file structure looks like according to what we chose during the installation steps. Okay, everything that we need to use in the application will reside inside of the app folder, bearing in mind that this is a app router Next.js application. That is the structure of Next 14 application. Okay, and all of these files are files that are necessary for our Next.js application to function well according to our choice during installation. We have a Tailwind config file, which is coming as a default based on our choice of using Tailwind for the application. I didn't change anything here. There's no need to change anything here in view of the application that we are going to build. Okay, so every other files, I'm not even going to touch them, perhaps except for package.json, because this is Next.js. Yes, Next.js 14.2.11, and every other thing like React 18, which Next.js is actually based on, is based on React. Okay, is Next.js 14 is using React 18 and above. Okay, the only custom package that are installed apart from the one that we got during our installation, was the React icons. This React icons is going to be used in the sign up, no, login interface of our Binance Mockup. That's why I install it, and I simply install it by simply running npm install React icons. So it gave us the latest version at the time of recording this video. So this is what the package.json file looks like. And like I said, JS-config, yes, on this JS-config, this is what we have. Okay, but by the time we create the other folders that are necessary in terms of how I love to structure my Next.js application, importation routes can become messy, really. So in order for us to stay organized and be and for our code to be more readable, I'm going to just write 2 lines of code like this to map every folder, every resource that is inside of the component folder that we are going to create just in a moment inside of our app folder. We map everything in here in the component folder such that when we are importing in another component of the application, we will simply say @import so the name of the name of the import. Okay, and we are going to import @/components/ the name of the folder. I mean, yes, the name of the file rather. And the same thing is done for public. This public, I am going to create the public folder in the root folder, of the project, not inside of the app, as we are going to see. That's why it's going to the root folder, the same folder where our Next.js config.json file is okay. So, but for components, since we are going to go inside of the app folder, that's why we map it to the app folder than the component. So let me then create this. I'm right clicking to create it, otherwise I can still equally use this create new folder, but make sure it is created in the root folder of the whole project. Okay, yeah, as we can see, it is created in the same level with all the other files. Okay, so the next thing is to throw in the our resource that we need here, the images that we are going to need in the application. Okay, so what I am going to do is to throw in the resources. Let me go for the folder where I kept them. It's not here. Maybe yes, here, there. So I'm going to drag and put them in this. So these are just the 3 images that we need. We'll see how we use them in the application. Okay, that's one, and that's fine. Then we go inside of our app folder. Okay, the way Next.js is structured is such a way, it is a folder-based routing. So for our pages, we are going to create a folder to stay organized called pages, and that is where we are going to put in all our folders, all our files, all the page files, not all the files, all the page files. So inside of our app folder, we'll create 2 folders. The first being, if you are struggling to know how to actually create inside of this, you can inside of a particular folder, you can right click on that particular folder and say create new. Okay, here I am going to create a folder called components. Okay, it looks like I created a file I created a file instead. Let me delete it. Okay, inside of this, what did I choose? Yeah, I'm creating a folder. Yes. So components, our component folder. Then in here, I'm going to create another folder, which I'm going to call pages. But these pages, I'm going to put it in a parenthesis, in a banana parenthesis, such that when we route, when we type the URL on our on your browser, that folder does not get to be typed. It won't be necessary, and our page is going to be viewed properly. So I'm going to create pages in a banana, inside of a banana parenthesis, such like this. Okay, so inside now of this, our pages, that's where we are going to create our sign-in page and our login page. So let me, inside of a folder as well, it has to be inside of another folder. So I'm creating the folder as I'm on car block. Okay, sign in, and I create another one. I call it sign up. Okay, so inside of this are two. So inside of signing, we are going to create again our page. We are going to create our page. Our page is a file, and this page has to be page. And since I love to use GSX extension, I'm going to use GSX extension for our page, and I'm going to create the same for create another page, okay, for our sign up page. Okay, so this is where our sign up page is going to be written, and our login signing page is going to be here as well. So I can simply just close. By the way, let me quickly go here. Okay, so I'm going to use this snippet to write out our page component, RAFCE. Okay, so it's creating our page for us, which is cool. So in here we are going to import our sign up form. That form has not been created yet, so let me quickly go and create the form. Where do we create the form? We created the form in the component. It is not necessary to create it in the component, but I just want to build a culture of a culture of how to stay organized in case you are building a robust application, a very big or medium-sized application. So that's why I'm using this for the benefit of new starters. Okay, in application development. So in this component, inside of our component, I'm going to create two files. I'm going to name one as a sign up form. Sign up form. It's with a JSX extension. Okay, and inside of here we are going to write, use our code snippet again to write this RFCE. Okay, and we can quickly do the same thing for the other file. It can be done in two ways. I think the fastest would just be to create another one. We call it sign in form .jsx. I messed up. It was a cap lock this. Okay. .jsx. Okay. Let's run our Let's run our code IntelliSense again to get our, okay. Our sign up form here is a capital, is in cap form. I just want it to be uniform. Let me change it to this. Okay, so we have signing form as we have hit it here. Okay. Then since now that we have our components in the skeletal form, we can go to our sign-in page and our login page and import those files. Okay, so here we can simply import. Here we are inside of the sign up folder, right? So this is the sign up page. So we are importing a sign up form. Okay, and since we reorganized our file import structure the other time, we don't have to use the long route for our importation. That's fine. And so our sign up form can then be used in here. Our sign up form can then be used as a component. Okay. Oh, so I actually imported a sign in. Let me change it. Let me change it. We use sign up form instead. Okay. Sign up form instead. So we have it. We are going to do the same on the login. Sorry, on the sign in part of it. And our sign name page. Okay, our page has not been created on the sign-in page. So let's run our code snippet again. So we got our page. I am going to import now our sign-in form, not from the app, but just simply assest. Okay, then we can return our sign-in page as a component. Let's return our sign-in page as a self-closing component. Okay, now that this is out of the way, let's check what our application looks like. We need just one of these. Oh, perhaps it's not running. Let's rerun our application. So now we will see that we have our sign-in form. And if I go to sign up, we have our sign up form. And I want you to take note of our of the URL here. We are utilizing the sign up form page by simply going into the sign up folder that was created. Let me bring it out so that we can see. We have our sign up and sign in pages as a folder inside of pages that is inside of this parenthesis. That is why we did not need to put pages on our URL to get this thing worked, because we actually put pages inside of those parentheses, right? That is the reason. And again, when we go into our sign-in or sign-up pages, our page will then load the interface. Okay, and remember our sign-up form and our sign-up form and our sign-in form were created inside of these components, so they are imported. So if I decide to just give a space in here and give a space in here, perhaps I actually change it to small letters. And let's go back to our application. We can see now there is a space, and if I can change this to sign in, okay, then there is a space. Okay, so that is what the file structure, importing of files into another files, using them as a component. That's it. This is what it looks like. Now we are going to go into using our Tailwind CSS and GXS to design the interface to the center, both vertically and horizontally, to be somewhere in the middle here. I need to change in the page. Let's work with sign up page. Okay. We need to wrap this component, our form. We need to wrap it into in a div. I need to justify center. Okay, then let's put in our form. Our form is wrapped inside here, and I declare this class name, and I type okay, the width. Let's make the width to be full, that is the whole screen. And before I continue, let me just save it and show you what we have. So by simply, what we did here was to declare the full page, that is the full screen of your device. And what this flex does is it makes our container or the content to move, to be able to for us to be able to align them, whether we want to stack them on top of each other or we want to place them beside. So in this particular case, we only have a single component. So what it does, this flex does here, is to allow our content to be moved to the center. Otherwise, if I just use justify center without declaring the it to be a flex, then it would not respond. So for our justify center to respond, we have to make this to be flex, and by simply by doing that, we'll be able to make it to come to this side. But remember, okay, this is not on top, it is actually in the middle, right? Okay, so it is organized, it is centered both vertically and horizontally. So to make it center horizontally, we need to then align the items to the center. Okay, this may not have any result, because the reason is because we have not declared any height for our form, which is this component. So this is all we need to do this is all that we need to do in our page. We would do the same thing in this. We have to do the same thing in our page. We have to do the same thing, rather. We have to do the same thing with with our form. And it looks like I actually copied everything from that side. Let's see. Yes, I did. Let me save it. Okay, so for both our sign-in form and our login form, things looks like we have already centered them. Okay. I type sign up again. Okay, sign in. Yeah, our sign-in form. Let's remove this extra. This is not necessary. Okay, that is now taken care of. Okay, so going forward, I am just going to work on the component side of things, our sign up form. So okay, so I'm going to start our page by declaring a div container that contains all of these. Okay, so this is our sign up page. We can remove this Okay, and I'm going to declare a class name here of grid, which means, which means I want to stack two different containers on top of each other. Okay, unlike Flex that stack them besides each other. So besides each other or one another, depending on the number of containers that are thrown in. I will do this. Then I'm going to give it a padding of 0. It's a padding of 0. Okay. So let's see what it looks like. There won't be any changes because we have not fleshed up the component. Okay, is this signing? Let's use the sign up. Yes, use the sign up. Okay, because I've removed that. Since we remove, there's nothing in the div as it is now. Okay, so the next step is what we are going to do now is to put in two other different divs. Let me put another one quickly. Okay, let me say bottom. Let's say this is top, right? So that we can just see what it looks like. We can see now. Oh, fine. Then the next thing is to give a class here and begin to type in all the classes that is going to make our work to flow. Okay, maybe I can start by saying, so that we can see what is going on here. I can throw in a height, right? Let me throw in a height of a custom height of let's say 500 pixel. This is how you declare a custom a custom size inside of TailwindCSS. It's not an inbuilt. This is a custom. That's why it's built inside of these brackets. Yes, so we have declared the height of the top component as this. Okay, and in this case we are going to see a change, because the bottom part is going to start where the height of the top one ends. So you can see that we are now getting into the structure. Okay, and now because I need to write a lot of code, from the component part of it, from the Tailwind part of it rather, to structure our project out. I am going to make it quick. I will be pasting some code to make it faster. Then I'll explain each line of code as detailed as possible. However, on the sign up form, there's not going to be any need for any explanation because we would have covered everything from the sign up form. Okay, maybe except for the login page where we need to import a particular icon from React icons that was installed originally. Okay, I can explain that when we get there. Let's get going. So now that we have imported all the resources that we need for this particular page interface, I have gone ahead by using these TailwindCSS classes to declare what this top container, div container, looks like. Okay, it's a width of full, and I'm giving it an height of 500 pixel like we saw earlier on, and there is a padding around of 8. Okay, I played around all of these and see that this is what looks like works well. At least this is what is giving us the closest look to the Binance sign up interface that we are going to mock. Okay, so that's how I came about all these values. I played around them and I saw this is what is giving us what looks most close or closely that is giving us the a close look, okay, of what we are trying to mock up. And on the corners, it's a rounded corner which is coming from Tailwind, and we throw in the value, our custom value of 20 pixel. That seems to work much better for us. So let's see what the interface looks like as of now. We can see what we have. This is what we currently have, right? And our height, this containing thing is the height is small, as we can see. So I need to increase it. Then I played around it until I got it to be this one works better. It looks good. Okay, and I'm seeing something not particularly right here, which means I need to increase the gap between this social login. Okay, so let's go back to the form to fix that quickly. Okay, and by the way, before we even get there, we can see this is the official welcome to Binance, and this is the a label container element that shows this, and this is the input, and here we have a checkbox, and we have the terms and of services and privacy policy, and we have the button. Let's see what we have here. We see something very close. Let me give a space. There is a gap in between here, something like a 3 pixel or something. Okay, let's try that out. For me to quickly get what we are looking for, I can quickly just search for or continue with Google, so I can quickly get it. That's what you use in case you are creating a very, if your file is huge. In this case, it's not actually huge, so I can just scroll down. Okay, so this is the container that contains my our continue to Google. They are in two, right? This is the container that contains both of them. Continue with Google, and this is the other one that contains the continued with Apple. Okay, what I'm going to do here, okay, I wonder why it's not even up to that. Okay, so our margin top, okay, this margin top, this container is containing these two other containers. Okay, there is a smaller container, there is a container that is containing both. Okay, and okay, so the inside one, and there is this another div container. Okay, let me delete it so that we can see what I'm talking about. Let me delete and save, and let's go to the, yeah, we've just removed that of continue with Google. Okay, let me undo the change to put it back in. Okay, so which means I can simply just give my continue with Google. Where is the parent? Okay, this is the parent container. This is the parent container. Okay, on that container we can declare we can declare a space between the top one and the bottom one. Okay, there is a padding of this, there is a padding of this. Okay, let me just throw in on the second div, which is the bottom div, the one that contains signing with Apple. Okay, I can say margin top of 3 pixel. Let's see whether that does the job. Let's look at the original. 2. Okay, it looks like if we can make it to be 4, it will be better. Margin top of 4 seems to work much better. Yeah, this one seems to work much better. Okay, so this is what it is. But when we look at this, we are going to notice that there is a gap between the top part and the starting of the form container. Okay, we are going to fix that shortly. Okay, so let me just continue to explain the code structure, our code. Okay, let's go to explain the code. Okay, so we imported this image, okay, and we declare the source. Okay, the source is derived from here, which we have already imported from our public folder, right? And this is how we declare a source for the in the image element that comes from Next.js. We need to declare the source. This source can equally be a URL to somewhere, to Google, to any image resource online. Okay, but if you are using that, there is a settings that we need to set in another part of the project. That is actually out of scope of this particular tutorial, so I'm not going to go there, just for you to understand. That's why I said it. Okay, and we need to declare a width. I'm declaring the width for that image as 120, taking in the props that is coming from the image that we imported from Next.js. Okay, so it is declared so. It is declared so. I'm sure it's going to be understandable to people that are not very, very beginners. Okay, and if you're a beginner, please bear with us. Just follow through. You can ask questions in the comments section of this tutorial below. Okay, so that I can take time to answer you. Otherwise, I'm trying my best to make it as clear as possible. At the same time, I'm being conscious of time. Okay, at the same time. Okay, so welcome to Binance. We throw it in an H1 and we declare the text size to be 3XL. And we put in a padding of bottom and top. That is on the y-axis of 6. Okay. I've already explained the flexing and justify. Okay, justify between in this particular case, it's not really necessary. Yeah, because even if I don't put a flex, what happened? Our result remains the same. It's not, that's justify between is not necessary for this particular at this particular point. Yeah, there is no effect. It's not necessary. Okay, so I am going to then continue. So we throw in the label for those who are familiar with HTML. And of course, people who don't know HTML are not advised to even start React or Next or any of JavaScript framework to begin with. You need to learn basic HTML. For those who would like to learn basic HTML, can comment below and make a request. And if we have enough likes and request and subscription to the channel, then I'm going to take time out to teach basic HTML. Okay. So our input is here, and we declare all these are coming from, all these ones are coming from TailwindCSS. And I played around with the colors and all that, and this is what seems to be the most, this is what seems to be the closest to what we are trying to mock up. Okay, so, and we declare another div, okay, that is housing our input, which is a checkbox. The input type here is a checkbox. You have to notice that here the input type is we declare the type as a text. so it can allow us to type in our text. Whilst this is declared as a checkbox, okay, and we declare the name and all that. I mean the other Tailwind elements for it. Okay, so this is what we have so far, and this is just to create our terms of service and privacy policy. Okay, something that is quick, I mean that is worthy of explaining here is there is a folder. Okay, this div container, okay, is housing our input and our privacy policy. Let me remove it and see. Okay, we are getting an error here. I've probably deleted, I've unstructured something in the wrong way. Okay, this is a div and the closing, the start and the closing. Okay, that was the issue. I removed one extra div that was all supposed to be removed. So that div that I just removed is the one that contained the checkbox and the text that is showing what that checkbox is all about. So let's throw it back in. Okay, this is just for us to see. And since now we have two different elements, there is one here and there is another one here, which is this div. That's why we declare it as a flex. We declared it as a flex. If I remove the flex, let's see what would happen. Okay, everything is laid on top of each other, right? Because that is the default behavior. It's a grid by default, okay? Or flex into flex rows by default. Okay, so I'm just declaring it as flex so that we can have it side by side. We then have them side by side. That's all. And by the way, the justify center makes everything to align to the center. And because we declared a height of 5, which is very small, that's why we didn't need to actually declare the item to be center here. It just makes it work. And the other things are the padding top, margin bottom. Okay. Another thing that I noticed that I have not explained earlier on is this gap. The gap of 2x means that the gap in between all the elements that are wrapped inside of this div, okay, this div that is closing here should have a gap to their x-axis of 2. Okay, let me put gap of 12 and see what would happen, just for us to see. You can see how spacious it becomes. Okay, so we need just something like 2. Okay, and that's fine. That's that's close to here. Okay, so the next element on the page is our button. Okay, and that element, let me close everything from this one. Okay, so everything, okay, I've explained this. Let me close even this one. Okay, I've explained everything there. Then the next thing is button. Our button is, we are just simply using button element. Okay, and I throw in the class. Majority of those classes, okay, some of them you now know. Some of them you know. Let me explain the ones that we have not touched. Cursor pointer makes our user to know that when they point here, it's a button, it's clickable. Okay, it is that is what makes it to give us this small hand icon, pointing icon. Okay, so that's what cursor pointer does. And the margin top is automatic. Okay, it takes the default positioning to the top. We have done the padding. Okay, here this is a to declare the background color. We use BG-yellow of 300. Okay, this color seems to be the best to that looks like the Binance page that we are trying to mock. Otherwise, if I use like 700, let's say, we'll see what it turns to. Okay, So basically I only played around this color and find out that that's the best color for us to use. Okay, and I declared, oh, by the way, let me undo it. I want to show you something, and you will see, notice a border color. Okay, so what I did was just to make our both the background and the color border to be the same. Okay, and to have a rounded corner of large, this one is directly coming from TailwindCSS. This large seems to work fine. Okay, that's why I'm not using a custom size for the angle there. And when you come here to Binance, you see that when you over the button, okay, there is a small change in the background color of the button. Okay, that is what I try to simulate by just throwing. When we hover over this component, which is this button, let's change our opacity to 80. So I played around the opacity sizes, which goes from okay, according to it goes it goes from 0 to 1. 1 mean full. Okay, but for that is in normal usual CSS style. Okay, but according to how Tailwind CSS 3 version that we are using, according to how they declare the opacity, they have a different structure. So 80 opacity -80 seems to be the one that works best for our situation. That is to say, and we are appending this, we're saying if there is an over this button, let the opacity changes to this, and automatically it just makes it to have something, you see, similar to what we have here. Okay, and that is all about the button. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so the last part of our code here, it's let me see, the last part of our code is this part. Okay, so in order for us to achieve that, okay, have I actually explained everything that is here? Okay, this is all done. So in order for us to achieve that, we need to throw in, so we need to then type this in another div and put it below the login part of it. Okay, so that user may be able to link to the login form if they are on sign up, and they are able to go to sign up if they are on login. Yeah, vice versa. So we are going to replicate the same thing for the login page. But before we get there, let's do this part of the code first. Okay, and then that will be done. That will be put directly here. Let's try. I want to try this. You can see that's what we have here. So that's where we are going to throw in that component. Okay. Okay, I only undo some few things to make our work faster and easier. And every other thing that I've explained in the past are here. So I don't need to explain anything here other than this link. I've not said anything about the link. So let's see what we have. Okay, now that we have here, okay, I need to adjust this again. Before we continue, let me quickly adjust by looking for our Google. Let's look for continue. I'm searching it out so that I can do it quicker. Continue with Google, right? Okay, so let's adjust. The bottom part of it is the one that is containing our Apple. Okay, so that's why I just know that I need to come here. Okay, and give a margin top. The other time we made it to be 4. The 4 worked well. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, that's it. Okay, then now let's take care of this space. Let's take care of this space. How do we take care of this space? We need to look at the whole parent div container. Okay, it's a grid and it's a div. Everything seems to be fine here. Okay, which means we need a bigger parent container to position it. Okay, and that should be it should be done here inside of our page. Yes, where we are throwing in the sign-in form as a component. There is no height declared. That's why it will not understand where to center. There is no basis for it to center anything. There is no height in the first place. Okay, so for this particular case, we are going to use this built-in height of screen. What height of screen means is going to look at the height of your screen of the particular device that you are using, whether it's a mobile, it's a small phone, it's a tab, it's a laptop or desktop. It's going to look at the screen and take the full size of that screen. That is what this parent div does by declaring the height as a screen. Okay, so by doing this, I believe our form should now be properly positioned. Okay, for me, it looks like this is the end of this. However, I noticed two things. Our font, okay, is not the same as that of Binance, which is still fine. Okay, and our checkbox here, this element is taking the color of white, even when it's not used. Let's do this. Yeah, it's supposed to. Okay, it's all about styling of this. Okay, which we may not necessarily do in this tutorial. Okay, so I'm going to then go and do the login part. Everything is the same except for only one thing that I'm going to explain. Yes, then we will be good to go. So like I said earlier, this is our sign-in form. All I did was just to simply copy and paste our sign-up form code. Since majority of these things are going to be the same, and in our sign-in form, we have a QR code, as we can see it on Binance page. Okay, so I'm importing. That's the only one that I'm importing now. That was not there in the sign-up form. So we are importing this React QR code from React icons. Okay. So in our code, therefore, every other thing was explained in the sign-up form. Okay. The only part that I need to just explain here is take a close look at this div. Our parent div that is containing our Binance logo and that is containing our login text, which is inside of these H1 elements and this other container. I'm wrapping our QR code icon into this div so that I can style it to give it the lightish background gray that it has according to the Binance website, like we have it here in the official. Okay, and so that's the reason why I am throwing in our element that was imported as a QR code here, okay, into this div, and I'm giving it a height and width of 10 because that seems to work well with it. So it's a flex, and this flex is just helping us to be able to separate for us to be able to center to center align it, and our item center is helping us to center align it vertically, while justify center is aligning us to center it horizontally into the center. And every other thing remains the same. That this div is being given a rounded corner of medium, coming directly from Tailwind CSS elements. Okay, and basically everything remains the same. So let's save. We save it. We save our file and go and see what we have. Now this is what we have in our sign-in page. Let's go back to sign up page, and let's go back to sign-in page.
If you have gained any value from this tutorial, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on our upcoming video tutorials. Thank you.